Hey guys.
So today's video is just going to be kind of like a recap of our thoughts and feelings after being in New Zealand for four months. So keep in mind as we go through this, like definitely good and bad.
Honest.
100% honest truth. So like
Or how we feel, not necessarily of how everyone feels, but this is how we feel 4 months in.
Exactly. So
sorry if we upset anyone, but
just want to be raw and honest with you guys, because if you're in our situation and are thinking about like moving to New Zealand,
yep.
And again, like your thoughts and feelings will probably be different than ours, but
Absolutely.
just want you guys to like kind of weigh the same things that we were weighing or having like,
or think about them, you know.
Yeah.
So first,
I guess like family, if you want to talk about family.
Yeah.
So I guess Daniel, how are your like thoughts about family? Like, I know when we were moving here, like obviously it was really hard to leave all of our family because we were so close and family oriented, but like,
yeah.
Has it been harder, easier than you thought it would be? Or like, what are your...
in the beginning, it's hard, right, when you're saying goodbye to them, but once you're in New Zealand, you feel like, oh, you're not even thinking about family. You're kind of just thinking about how excited you are to be in a new place.
Your family's gonna hear that and be like, what the hell, Daniel?
Yeah, but you're not thinking about it because you're like more excited and you're in an adrenaline rush. You're just trying to get settled and work on your immediate family to get comfortable in a new country. But then after about, I would say, a month or two in, you start to remember that you don't get to see these people just whenever you want. For us, my family was 30 minutes away. I could drive and see them at any point in the United States. And now it's over 24 hours of flights if I want to just go up and say hi to them. So WhatsApp has been a great help, but it's really hard. I mean, these last couple months have been really hard because I feel myself missing them a lot and wishing I could just go and see them. And it is good to video chat and stuff, but it's just not enough. It's not. So I'm struggling right now, but
yeah, I feel like for me, like I thought it was going to be a super big struggle. After I finished college, I moved away to Florida for a little bit away from family, and that was like super hard, but it was just really because I didn't have that support person. I feel like having like each other in Charlotte and then like the supporters of like people at work definitely helps with it. But kind of the same, like, I feel like it's definitely easier than what I thought it would be. I'm super close with my mom and I still talk to her every single day. So although, like, it's super difficult not being able to touch her and hug her and be around her, it definitely makes it easier being able to talk and video chat with her every single day.
The time change is hard.
Right. But those like family members that I'm not as close with, I've definitely gotten further and further and further apart, because if you're not super close with someone, then
I guess
you're not making the effort as much to keep those connections with them. So I guess if you don't want to lose those connections with family members that you aren't as...
It's a lot of effort. You got to put in a lot of effort to keep up with family.
And like with time change, like you have to be planning things.
Yeah,
and
you just schedule, like, it's almost like scheduling meetings.
Exactly. And it's hard. Like I know for me, like in the mornings, like I want to be spending time with Charlotte. And then in the evenings, after being at work all day long, like we want to spend time together as family. So
in Charlotte.
And in Charlotte. So trying to weigh like, hey, am I going to spend time trying to explain what's been going on for the last 4 months with my, like with people I haven't talked to very much, or
spend time with our family?
Am I going to spend more time with family? And that's kind of what happens there.
Yeah.
But
so next thing.
Do you want to talk about
driving?
Driving. Okay.
Yeah. So, as you guys know, in America, we drive on the literal right side of the road. And here it's the left.
The literal and figurative right side of the road.
Yeah, whatever. And then you drive left over here. So we thought it was going to be a lot harder. I don't think it was that hard. It took maybe 2 or 3, 4 tries of driving to finally get comfortable. And now I have no problem whipping through roundabouts.
He definitely whips.
And
I whip in my rover.
Okay. And
definitely a lot of roundabouts, like way more than I've ever heard. I'm really like, when we go back to America in a couple of years, like I'm curious, like is it going to be hard for us to drive
the switchback
on the other side of the road?
That's the thing I'm curious about. But driving here is not hard. That's something that comes quickly.
I have noticed, which is really funny because everyone always says, and from what we've seen, like Kiwis are so easygoing and like so like la-di-da-di-da nonchalant about things, but put a kiwi in a freaking car and you get another person. Kiwis have like horrible road rage, man. Like if
it's everywhere though.
It is, but it's just funny.
Yeah. And then all right, so what's the next one?
Do you want to talk about food a teeny tiny bit?
Yeah, we can talk about food.
So for us,
we talk about it a lot already, so why not?
We talk about food a lot. So we're really trying to use like the New Zealand ingredients and everything. Of course, we know like we can get those American ingredients, but the point of being here and being in a new environment and country is adapting and using those Kiwi or those New Zealand things.
Yeah.
So we're just finding it difficult, like random things like which cheese melts the best on
or
casserole or melts because a lot of it like makes a layer or like what kind of beef mince to use best for making a burger. So just like kind of trial and error things there. We definitely want to find, and if you have any recommendations on like New Zealand websites to find like easy crock pot meals or casserole meals or something like.
Yeah, just easy things. We don't want to get too complicated with it. We'd like to start simple and then go from there. But we just don't know what the best products are for practically anything. Alyssa made a buffalo chicken dip from a recipe we use in America, and it was really good. It was a lot of ingredients that were from New Zealand, but we also used
some American ingredients.
Some American ones like Hidden Valley Ranch, and we feel like ranch is something that we have not found a good, I don't want to say a good version. We haven't found a version that's similar to America's, because America's is really, really unhealthy.
Yeah. I tried to make, I was craving Rotel the other day for my Americans, and the cheese like wouldn't melt like normal. It like just
congealed.
Yeah, congealed with like the meat. So like that was really odd.
Yeah, it was like if you're gonna make like a meat patty with just cheese in it, it was just stuck together, really gross.
It didn't work, so I didn't get my Velveeta fix or my.
Yeah, so Velveeta, that's another thing that they don't have here. I know Velveeta for sure is terrible for you, and it's not. It's got so many things wrong with it, but it's easy to make food with. So that's a struggle.
Yeah. You want to talk about like healthcare a little bit?
Yeah, we've used a lot of that.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it very much either.
Haven't.
So definitely public healthcare here is free, and with that, there's positives and negatives.
Yeah, as you can imagine.
Of course, very big positive that you can go to the doctor or go to the emergency room 90% of the time. You're not really gonna have to pay anything. And of course,
depends on age too, though.
Yeah, it depends on age.
Because if your kid or whatever is 0 to I think 13 or 14 maybe, it's free. But as soon as they hit over 14 or 15 years old, you have to pay for them just to see a doctor.
Very, very little, considerably.
It's not
like
bad.
The United States have had and paid thousands of dollars. And then I literally just lost my train of thought.
I don't know.
Oh. For like midwife care, it's absolutely great. I'm going through that. I'm actually going to make some separate videos about it. But like the how long it takes to get things done, I've noticed is a really, really long time, or how long it takes to get in for an appointment.
Yeah.
Because like with Charlotte, she's been getting a lot of ear infections, so like we'll call and try to make an appointment, but they're like super booked just because since it is cheaper, like more people are going.
Yeah.
And then like we're looking at getting her ear tube surgery, and like to do it public, which would be free, there's like a waiting list of like 2 or 3 years because it's not a like dire surgery.
And there's just that many people that want it or for their kids.
Right. So like we decided to go private, which means we'll have to pay for it. But even going private, like more people are going private nowadays because of how long public lists are. So we're still like struggling to get in there super fast. So definitely
everything's a process, and that's kind of the drawback. But at least we don't have to pay thousands of dollars. We've gone to the doctor probably, would you say 10 times?
Oh, at least we've gone to the doctor so much here.
Yeah, we've gone 10 times in 4 months. That's because we've got different bugs. We've gotten sick different ways. We had COVID, so I mean, I don't think we went to the doctors for COVID.
We'll get tested.
But you can go, and why wouldn't you? You know, we say we've gone 10 times. That's not like to scare you off. That's to say we can afford to go 10 times because every single time, other than for us, it's been free.
It has been free for us.
And it's been free
as
for
well.
us too. So there you go.
And there is,
Oh,
so we did actually get some private healthcare insurance recently, which is only about, I think it was like $104 a month, and that covers Charlotte and I.
Oh,
because the program had to do both of us, and that is just to help with like specialists, just because of us considering doing that surgery privately to help. So there is that option as well, and we don't know a lot about healthcare, just kind of what we've seen. So we're probably saying some things wrong, but this is just kind of what we've seen so far.
Yeah. What else would you say about our 4 months here in New Zealand?
I guess another thing I've noticed, and it makes me giggle because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but Daniel's rolling his eyes. I've noticed, like, and you can explain too, in the United States, like, not that we don't have freedom of speech here, because obviously, like, we can say whatever we want.
For the most part. I know that you guys in the comments who, like, say, oh, you can't say everything you want, because people can say what's the word I'm looking for? You're slandering their name, and they can take you to court and stuff.
Right. But I feel like you just kind of sometimes have to watch
how honest you are.
Watch how honest you are here.
Maybe it's not about how honest you are. It's just about the way you say it.
Right. I just feel like sometimes feelings are hurt a little bit more easier than Americans. I feel like Americans are honestly such assholes that we're used to like people being rude and upfront and brutal, saying things that you don't like. And Kiwis are so down to earth, so like sometimes if they hear things that they don't want to hear, like it hurts their feelings more, which
makes sense.
Is understandable because they're not, like I said, as
and we also, as we mentioned, as she mentioned, Americans are assholes. So we may say something just trying to be honest, and we feel like we're just being honest, but to them, they may think that we're being assholes, and we might be. I mean, we just don't know how any other way to do it because this is how we did it in America. We would just go up to somebody and say, hey, listen, this is bothering us, or we don't like the fact that you're doing this, or you need to stop doing that. It's not okay. And it can come off wrong here because that's just not the way things are around here all the time. Not necessarily everywhere in New Zealand, but maybe just where we are, there people are grown different, raised different. So we're not trying to come off as insensitive, but we're just different backgrounds, different cultures.
That's a big one. Do you want to talk about that one?
Perfect lead in. Yeah, so when we realized that New Zealand was an English-speaking country and that there wasn't going to be much struggle with just moving in and being able to talk to everyone, we were not prepared for the amount of actual culture there is here. And I'm not trying to be insensitive again, but Māori culture is everywhere, and that's exciting. That's great. I don't think anywhere on the internet it actually makes you understand how involved it is.
No, like absolutely
not. When we were looking through New Zealand information, yes, it's spoken about. People are like, yeah, Māori culture it's everywhere, it's good, but they didn't actually say it's in everything. Like it's everywhere. You see it in the name of the towns, but it's in your schools, it's in your government, it's in your just day-to-day life, it's in your entertainment, it's everywhere, and that's great. You need to learn it. I think you need to learn it. If you're going to come here, you need to be committed to learning it because it's very important here. People care about it, and that's exciting that they care about it because that makes me want to care about it. So if you're going to come here,
and even like, of course, being open to learn it while you're here and being immersed in it, but try and do some research about it before you come because, like Daniel said, like it's huge. Like you're immersed in it 100%, and it's so hard to explain. It just because, you know, like in the States, like there's so many different cultures, but you're not as...
This one's very predominant.
Exactly.
It is. Yeah, because, you're right. In the U.S., you have so many different diversities and cultures that it's like you learn little bits and pieces of each one growing up because it's talked about. But for here, it's mainly Māori all the way through. So that's awesome. That's great. I wish I would have studied and maybe researched a little bit more just so I could be more educational and knowledgeable about it, and I feel like you feel the same way.
Absolutely. Sometimes I feel like not as smart, not as well-rounded, I guess, as a
Yeah.
person, not as sought after
Yeah.
just because of the unknowns right now,
Yeah.
but just making it known that like we are trying to learn and we
Yes.
are 100% open to learning
And a lot of
everything
people
around
seem to
us.
be very happy with that.
Exactly.
I think most people care that you're trying. So even if you don't know much about the culture, what's important is that you're trying to, and that you continue to show that. Because if you just stop caring, that's when the people probably get a little bit upset. They're like, you're
Of
here
course.
to experience New Zealand, and that is a big part of it. Maori culture is a big part of experiencing New Zealand, and you have to commit to that.
And I am curious, honestly, just like hearing you talk about it, if it is like this everywhere in New Zealand, or if it's just like in
certain areas,
Tauranga or just in Papamoa, like
I'm sure it's everywhere.
is Maori just as prominent or just as
important
in Auckland or Wellington in those bigger towns, or is it just more prominent here in a so-called smaller town? I'm not sure. It's a good thing to think about.
I think it's a good wrap up for now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try to do one of these every 4 months so we can have 3 in a year and get all the seasons and all the talk. We probably could have talked about weather a little bit, but
yep. But overall, like, great, happy thoughts.
Absolutely.
No regrets in any way, shape, or form for moving here. People still think we're crazy for moving all the way across the world without visiting.
Yes.
But honestly, like, it's worked out so much, and we have grown so much as a family.
It has its challenges, but they've been worth it.
Definitely challenges, but grown so much family, individually, just learning every single day.
Fun and exciting times.
But yeah. Again, we appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep, we have an Instagram. We have an email. It's newlynewzealand@gmail.com. So if you want to reach out to us, do send us an email through that, or go on Instagram at Newly New Zealand and send us a message through there, and we'll chat with you guys.
Get back to you as soon as possible. Sometimes it takes us a couple days just because of
we got so much going on.
Life, but we will get back to you, and we're hoping to help more in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's any questions that you guys have, or any videos or anything that you guys want to see, like, feel free to let us know, because we're always needing ideas for next videos and stuff like that. But
absolutely.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.